So I'm joined by Chelsea City manager Robbie Simpson. We're doing this post-match into the day after for social distancing regulations, but it's a good job because I think we needed some time to sort of relax after that crazy game last night. How do we start to analyse that game?
Yeah, I think I'm still not calm down, to be honest with you, Ben. Yeah, what a crazy derby. Good for the neutral, I guess. And I guess people will think that we come away happy because of how we came back. Still, my overriding feeling is disappointment, though, that we haven't won the game that I thought was a very winnable game. And well, you could say it was a 5 minutes of madness from our point of view, but I think they started the game really well. I think that the first 5-10 minutes were fairly cagey, and we had a shot, they had a shot. But I think they gradually got themselves into the game quicker than us, and the first goal then really gave them a lift and made us lose everything, really, lose our discipline, lose our shape, lose our structure, lose our confidence. And it had the opposite effect on them. Everything picked up for them, and they looked like a really good side, really, really good side for those. Well, for the first half hour, really, they looked a really good side. And after the first goal went in, and then I saw them get a lift and us not, I knew I had to change it, but I just needed time just to make sure I made the right change to us. And of course, me and Spill started speaking, and by the time we started speaking, we were 2-0 down. And then by the time we decided what to do, we were then 3-0 down. And then it was like, should we still do it, even though we're now 3-0 down and really need to chase the game? And so we gave ourselves another 5-10 minutes just to make sure it was the right decision to change it. And we did. And fortunately enough, it worked. It worked. You kind of get one chance really to change something mid-game, I think, for it to really work. And yes, it might have been too late in hindsight because we conceded 3 goals so quickly, but we needed to make sure it was the right change, and we did. And I think from the 30th minute onwards, we were by far the better team. And I think even being 3-0 down, we've come away really disappointed we haven't got the victory.
Yeah, and that we both teams started with sort of 3-5-2, and then you sort of changed to like a 4-3-3 and put sort of Tom Wright in midfield.
Yeah,
and then they changed to match us in the second half, didn't they? So
yeah, and I was actually tempted to switch back to negate that. So, yeah, I think when we were both matched up in systems, and I knew we would be because they played that system in the last 2 games and had a really good performance and win against Dulwich. So I knew it would be basically man for man, and it was all about individual battles. And I asked them to make sure they won their individual battles in everything, in running, in strength, in technical ability, in energy. And unfortunately, we fell short in too many departments in our 1v1 battles. And that meant we had to change it. So that was really disappointing that I had to do that we had to make that. But fair play to them and the character that they showed to keep believing and get themselves back into the game. And then, like you say, we enforced them to make a change to negate us, because I think they could see that they were definitely going to lose the game if it carried on going the way it was. And the last 10 minutes ended a bit end to end. It was a bit too frantic for me, to be honest with you. We lost control in the last 10 minutes, and we weren't under the cosh. It was, like I said, it was end to end, and anybody could have won it. But from the situation we were in, I wanted to make sure we left there with at least a point.
yeah.
So yeah, and we did
And
that.
I can't remember too many better debuts than Jake Cass. I thought he was brilliant, and got his goal, had a goal disallowed, caused a number of other situations as well. He was fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't watched it back yet, but he swears to me he was onside for his disallowed goal. And he was great. He hasn't kicked the ball, he hasn't played football for 7 weeks. So to come in and produce that kind of performance and show that kind of clinical nature with his goal and his disallowed goal. And he was a constant threat, wanting to get on the end of crosses and in the box. And he's got a turn of pace. He's big and strong. And like I said, he hasn't played football for 7 weeks. To produce that, and knowing that he's going to improve on that is really good. And I'm really, really pleased for him. And he looks like a real good acquisition. I'm really glad he got his goal, so he's got off the ground running.
And the other 2 forward players played really well as well. I thought Dylan setting up Adam for the 3rd goal. So, Adam's got 4 in 4 now, 7 for the season. So we're looking a real threat up front now.
Yeah, I mentioned about the balance we have to our forward line. You know, Adam Morgan's got great quality and is so clever, picks up really good positions, and Dylan's running in behind, and then trickery when he gets in 1v1s with defenders is really, really good. And we need that focal point that we had in Jake, that really big, strong man up there, experienced man that's a goal threat and can lead the line really. So the balance up there is really, really good. However we play them, whether we play them as a 3 or a 2 and a 1 or a 1 and a 2, the balance is there, which is great. And let's not forget, I know he didn't come on, Adam Liddell as well. He can come on and add something different as well, which is great. And yeah, we look a threat now. We look a threat, a real threat. But I'm really disappointed that we've gone from such a solid performance at St Albans, where we never looked like we were going to concede, to the first half hour yesterday, where it looked like we were going to concede every time Billericay went forward. So it's the consistency, and a large part of it might have been because it was an Essex derby and then we fell behind. And as soon as you go behind, we've got a young squad and maybe a bit of a naive squad that thinks, oh, we're 1-0 down, we have to get a goal back as soon as possible. When really it's just a case of the best thing to do is not concede again, and just stay in shape, stay in structure, stay disciplined, stay patient, and gradually build yourself back into the game. It's having the nous to recognise that the opposition are having a spell. They're having a good spell. They've just scored. Just stay in shape, stay in structure, and ride out the storm, and then gradually build your way back into the game. Because at 1-0, you've always got a chance to turn things around. At 3-0, more often than not, you haven't got a chance to turn things around. But again, that mentioned the character of the players to keep believing that they can get something out of the game was amazing. And the way they fought and believed, and the desire that they showed to score, and then desire to go and win the game from being 3-0 down was incredible to see from a manager's perspective.
And it would be a bit greedy of us to think we might have won the game having been 3-0 down, but I think there was possibly, I thought it might have been a penalty on Adam Morgan with about 15 minutes to go when he got brought down by the goalkeeper when he rushed out. Yeah,
we certainly thought so. He made a great run in behind, which he doesn't often do, but he can do. And great timing of the run, great ball, and it caused confusion. Their keeper came out as their defender also went to clear it. They kind of collided together and the ball fell loose. Adams then tried to get onto the loose ball and been taken out from our point of view. So we think it's a penalty. But yeah, it wasn't to be. And we actually had a few good chances right after that as well. Tom Rates had a great shot that if it gets a slight deflection, it's a goal. He kind of hit it too well. It went straight at the keeper. And a few other opportunities that we just missed out on, unfortunately. But like you say, I think we can be happy with the point. You could probably tell I'm still frustrated we didn't get all 3, and I was definitely frustrated we didn't get all 3 after the game. But when you reflect on from that half an hour mark onwards, the character shown, and then you look at the league table and see we've jumped up to 11th, and looking above us, you know, we've got a game in hand on Eastbourne in 7th. So yeah, we have to look at it as a real positive point, especially from, you know, the 19th minute. It looks a really great point. But as long as we learn, I'm happy. As long as we learn and get better, I'm happy.
And yeah, you said we moved up to 11th. very tight in the sort of mid-table area at the moment. But we've got Ebbsfleet, who are just outside the playoffs above us. We can sort of a difficult place to go, but we've got Anthony Church coming back after his suspension, so we've got an extra body available as well. So how do you feel going into that game after this one?
I feel like we have to look at it as though we've kept momentum from the 2 victories in 2021. We're unbeaten in 2021, so we have to build on that momentum and look positively towards the weekend. But be aware that Ebbsfleet are a very, very good side, full-time side, really big budget, great players. You know, Lee Martin, Bobby Joe Taylor. They've just signed the lad Joe Taylor. Really, really good players at this level, and probably can play higher. You know, so we're going to have to be really, really good and produce a really, really good, solid performance. Certainly more solid than we were last night, and we need to still carry the same threat that we've carried for a little while now.
Okay, good luck on Saturday, Robbie, and I'll speak to you after the game.
Thanks, Ben. Cheers.
Okay.